Social media group is working to raise more than $100,000 for the food bank of the Heartland.
Our Bella Caracta shows us how this can really make a difference.
We didn't think it could get worse than what we saw during the pandemic, but it has. We're doing more with less, and it has created a slew of challenges for us, our network partners, and those we serve.
Federal COVID assistance for the food bank of the Heartland is depleted and no longer available. But the Omaha Food Lovers Facebook page hopes to help. It's a group of nearly 90,000 members.
This is a group about food, but I think we need to realize that there are a lot of people out there that are, having hardships and aren't able to get the food that they need. And what a better organization than to partner than the Food Bank for the Heartland.
Their goal this year is to raise $125,000. According to Sullivan, $1 can buy 4 meals.
Monetary donations really allow us to take that dollar and stretch it much further because we can purchase in bulk.
Besides the feeling of doing good, donors get something else in return. Every person who donates gets put into a raffle with over 400 gift cards from more than 250 Omaha food establishments. Crescent Moon in Midtown is one of them.
I do remember that I won a gift card because I donated personally myself. It was kind of a win-win. I donated money, I got something back, and and our business donated as well.
That good that they're doing is going to shine a light in these really uncertain times for so many children and so many families.
That light will shine even brighter because the food bank partners with community organizations to match donations up to $320,000. You just have to donate by December 31st. On your side, in Omaha, Bella Caracta, 6 News.
If you're interested in donating and entering the raffle, you can find more information on our website, WOWT.com.